Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I want to start with a question for you. Aren't you freaking tired of spending hours and hours thinking of what content to create, actually creating the content, writing the caption, the email, doing the graphics, what should go in the graphic, what should I do with the thing? And what makes it frustrating for you and what makes you kind of resist wanting to do it and getting stuck and procrastinate on doing it isn't really because you hate creating content. What you hate are your lack of results from all this time, effort, and energy that you're putting into that content. Because if you were putting content out and you were getting a crap ton of sales and you were waking up to applications and people buying from you and people signing up for your free things, people wanting to work with you on various levels, I have a funny feeling you would be really excited and get super passionate about getting creative and improving and on your content and coming up with really cool new ideas to attract more ideal clients and convert them into paying customers. Am I right? I know. I'm going to help you because I can't freaking have this anymore. I can't have this for you. And a lot of people assume that the reason my content converts at this level is that I just have this natural knack for it. No. I am a naturally really great communicator, but I had to do a lot of work and trial and error and mistakes and testing in order to get there. And one thing that really lights me up is to be able to help get you guys there faster and easier. I don't like holding these secrets in for myself just because it's taken me 14 years and tons of refinement in order to get there. I would rather share them with you so you can get there. That is why I am doing this coming Sunday on November 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I am teaching you in a free live masterclass my 3 secrets to creating cash converting content that works for any type of business. You could be in network marketing. You could have a service-based business. You could have a brick and mortar business. You could be a nail technician. It works for any kind of business there is. These are the exact secrets that are responsible for generating over $120 million in sales transactions, you guys. And I'm boiling it down and simplifying it because I can't have you guys wasting so much time on creating content that no one sees and it doesn't make you any cash because you'll end up quitting. And we can't have that. There will also be $8,000 in giveaways that I'm doing. And even if you just want to show up to see the crazy outfit I'll have on, you definitely want to do that. This one is wild. And you know, if you've been listening to me or following me for a while, I rarely offer these free live masterclasses. I've never taught this before live. This training alone is worth at least $20,000. That's what a corporation would pay me to teach this to their people. And I want to give it to you for free. Why? What's the catch, Tiff? The catch is this. The more successful you are, the more you're going to lean in and trust me to take you to the promised land. So I'm a big believer in you give away your best stuff, and then all of the ideal clients will come and be really excited to pay you for further help, because if your free stuff was that good, people can only imagine what the results will be when they hire you. So that's what the catch is. I will also be launching my once a year super mega Black Friday bonus sale. And I'm doing something that I've never done before. And you're going to get first dibs on it. Go sign up for this training. There's a maximum of 300 spots as we're doing this live on Zoom. So you need to go grab this spot, share it with a friend. Don't procrastinate on signing up. It's at projectmewithtiffany.com/masterclass. projectmewithtiffany.com/masterclass. You can also simply swipe up to get to the show notes, and I've put the link in there as well. All you have to do is block 75 minutes of your time. And yes, for those of you in wild time zones, and if you're working or you have a doctor's appointment and you're like, oh my God, I can't make it, it's okay. We are offering the replay. And even for signing up, you're going to be eligible for the grand prize, even for signing up for the replay, as long as you take a screenshot and you share in social media and tag me to show us that you've actually watched the training. I'm going to be doing that for you. So I want to make sure you guys have access to the replay. But the reality is, if you can't commit to giving me 75 minutes on a Sunday in order for you to save hours and hours of time on creating basic content that doesn't get you anywhere and learning these secrets, I kind of don't know what to do with you. That almost sounds like self-punishment, in my opinion. So go sign up, projectmewithtiffany.com/masterclass, and you can come back to this episode. And I'm super excited to see you there. It's going to be hysterical. That's guaranteed. $8,000 in prizes. And without a doubt, you will triple your sales and your applications, people signing up even for your freebies. If you follow what I teach you, I feel very confident that this will triple in a short period of time, as short as even a week, as long as you do the damn thing, which of course I can't make you do it. But if you want the money you say you want, honey, you've got to do it. Let's move into the NO-vember mindset shifts to get you out of your funk and into a highly productive flow. Now, I am just coming out of my funk. It was not cute whatsoever the first half of November. Who's with me? I don't know. I want to say I don't know what's going on, but that's not true. If I really look back, this is very common this time of year. I call this the November Crazies. For people who I coach, which you guys know, I've coached more than 1,500 people privately, well over 100,000 in group settings. And this is something that's so common this time of year. And I wanted to record this episode to get you out of this funk and into a highly productive flow. But first, we have to cover what kind of bullshit's going on in that brain of yours. It's the same thing I did for 9 years. This is one of the main reasons why it took me 10 years to truly stop toe dipping and go all in with Project Me with Tiffany Carter. For real, is this lie. So none of us do New Year's resolutions anymore, right? That's like very 2006. We don't do that. We set intentions now. Well, guess what? That's really the same thing in disguise, right? It's like most of you guys, when I write any content or share any content with the word sales, it gets crap engagement and you guys get a rash. But if I say marketing, wow, it's totally different. That's okay. But it's really the same damn thing. So this is what's happening, right? Some of you might say manifesting. Oh, I don't do resolutions. I manifest, I call in. It's the same thing. It's semantics. All right. And what happens is this is what goes on. The seasons change. We're seeing, all sorts of Christmas stuff. In the US, we're seeing the Thanksgiving stuff too, right? We're seeing all this stuff in the stores we're being marketed to. And what that does is it signifies in our brain and bodies that it's the end of the year. And two things happen. One thing happens is that there's an automatic, like a pressure, like a kind of feeling in your body. There's a pressure. It's like, oh my God, the things I said I wanted to accomplish or the goals that I set, I'm nowhere near them. I'm far off the mark. I never even started. And reality really sets in. So you either do one of two things. A very small percentage of people do what I do now, which is really deliberately going, okay, what can I do this time of year with these remaining days, right? This remaining month and a half, of 2021. What can I do to best set myself up so that I walk in to 2022 feeling prepared, feeling confident, feeling clear on what I'm going to do with a plan in order to achieve my goals, and I can then hit the ground, so to speak, running, versus go into 2022 with my head up my ass and confused and feeling, oh my God, like now reality's hit. I've taken all this time off. I phoned in the end of the year, and I don't even know what's going on. I need to get my bearings. What most of you do is what I did almost my entire life. And it's not effective, and it clearly doesn't work. What my old Tiffany did, what you guys are doing, is we make up these crazy stories that sound absolutely logical to us and even other people. Well, it's already the end of the year. I'm going to focus the rest of the year on just really spending more quality time with my family and enjoying the holidays. And not so much on work. There's very few people that are going to say, that's great. I love that you're doing that. Like, there's very few people that aren't going to buy into that, including yourself, which is why our brains are so manipulative and cunning, is because it comes up with excuses that not only we buy into, but other people do. Or, well, I didn't accomplish that because this, and this happened. It was a hard year. It was crazy. I thought we were going to be out of quarantine life, and we're really not, and all the state of the affairs of the world. And I'm just going to focus on, aligning my energy and really getting clear on some things. And then, then I'm really going to go for it in 2022. I'll have a fresh start. I'll do something fresh then. I could come up with a whole bunch more, but you have a version of that going on right now where you might even be saying, I need this time to recalibrate. I need this time to realign. And it sounds really good, right? It sounds really good. And I'm about the anti-hustle. I'm not saying to hustle and push and force, but would you invest in a business where in the end of Q4 of a year, which is generally one of the highest money-making seasons for almost all industries, would you invest in a business where the CEO or even the VP of marketing, the business plan is to we're not going to really do anything. We're going to just chill and recalibrate and focus on, enjoying our families and then get to it in 2022. That is not a business plan. I would run so fast. In fact, when I go to invest in businesses, one of my first questions, whether someone's pitching me to invest in February or they're pitching me to invest in, September, I always say, so what is your plan for this holiday season? What is your plan for prime time, right? What is your plan for November, December, January? That's what I want to know. What is your plan? Because $910 billion is being spent online this November and December alone. And that's just online, not even in store. Online, it is up 12%. It's the highest ever in history. So you only need a micro slice of that pie. I am giving this episode to you to kind of wake you up. I'm sharing with you what I wish someone said to me, because I really was convinced, well, chalk it up. Another year I didn't go in, I didn't do it. And then there's shame and then there's guilt. Well, what happens is you get a temporary pressure release, right? When we procrastinate, whether you're procrastinating for 1 day, 5 days, a year. So we get this dopamine hit, right? It's almost like we took a Xanax. Okay, I'm letting myself off the hook. I can breathe, right? And you might feel let off the hook maybe for a few days, maybe for a week. But as soon as you start scrolling, as soon as you have some alone time, as soon as you have downtime and you are with your own thoughts, or you see other people actually getting after it and doing the damn thing, the guilt sets in, the shame sets in. God, I should be doing this. I'm lazy. I mean, I should be able to do both. What's wrong with me? Maybe I'm not cut out to do this. God, how are they doing it all? Why can't I do it all? What's wrong with me? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Oh my God, this one guy can never get it together with his car alarm. He has like a car from 1990 where the horn, well, maybe all car alarms do this. Do all car alarms do the horn still? Oh my God, it is so annoying. It's repetitive noises really irritate me unless it's like a slot machine saying cha-ching because I've won. Or it's a ding from my PayPal and Stripe notifications. I don't know I hope you guys can't hear this. If you can be annoyed right along with me. I have to block it out. All right. So, wow. I don't know if I can block it out. I might have to pause this until this is over. I might have to. I'm going to go yell at this guy. You know that you've lived at the beach in Southern California for several months if I just started my yelling at this guy with bro. It wasn't even bro, it was bruh, really. Like BRAH. I was like, bruh, the horn on your alarm, it's like almost daily. Like, we got to get it together. And why do you let it go for so long? He's like, I know. And then he gave me the peace sign. And it's like, okay. Like, what is happening here? I mean, he's like literally next to his car. I digress. I'm like, who am I, bro? Bruh. I'm like, what is going on with me? That's very interesting. I don't know where I got that from, but clearly I pick up words from my environment. So you notice, like, when you hang out with a friend or maybe it's a sibling long enough, you guys kind of start sharing the same language and you share the same words. It's kind of like the fun thing, right? Like, I think it's really fun with my clients or people in like my masterminds or inside my ProjectME Posse group coaching membership, right? Like, I have a lot of course, unique words and phrases, right? Luxuriating, ZFG, all that stuff. And they start kind of like using some of my vernacular. Ooh, that was a big word, vernacular. I could never spell it. And I know, like, I say things that my best friend says all the time. And then I'm like, wait a second. That's not what's happening. Like, I'll say stuff and people are like, oh, that's really great. You should make that in a quote. I go, actually, that I did not make that up. My best friend said that, but it's in my head anyway. So what's it going to be for November, right? You've got to start treating your business like a business and not like a hobby, and then expect to have bomb-ass business CEO results. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, I've worked so hard. I pushed so hard during, Black Friday, or I did so much this summer, or I did a lot this fall, so I'm going to give myself a break. Just imagine if you were going to be on Shark Tank. Would anyone invest in that business? Would you be able to get a business loan based on that? That is not a business plan. The problem is that you have come up with a belief, which you've probably inherited coming from society, from us being programmed, all this stuff, that in order to have great success, you have to do more. You have to work harder. And if you're at a point where you're kind of feeling burnt out or fried, it's because you've been busy doing all the things and not the strategic things, which is why I'm doing that free live training, because the content monster is real. And I don't want you guys burning the candle at both ends, creating content that doesn't get you cash and clients. It's not necessary. And you keep, doing posting and hoping and trying different things to see if this works and that works. And you pick up this trick from someone and that trick from someone. And then you realize it's all bullshit and none of it works. I'm just going to give you the secrets. And it's probably going to piss off people in the industry because they want you to pay them to get these 3 secrets. And they're doing it too. They want you to pay them for it. You can pay me to learn even more than that. But I want you to know, I want you to have a great head start. Really. because otherwise I'm just information hoarding. And that isn't coming from an abundant state to information hoard from people, right? Even emotionally hoarding, right? That's not an abundant state. That doesn't work. I give you the best, both in free and my paid offers. And that's how abundance works. That's why I have droves and droves of clients and I have millions in the bank. So this time of year is wild and the pressure is real. And I don't want you to be phoning it in. So that dopamine hit you get from the procrastination, it doesn't really last that long, like I said, because then you really know better. And you kind of have a little bit of a break in your denial where you know this really isn't a good plan. And then you have the guilt and then you have the shame. And then from that energy, that's a shit vibration. That's not exactly inspiring. That's not motivating. That's not productive. That doesn't get your creative juices going and flowing. It keeps you in the same place. So this is not to shame you and say, God, you're an idiot for thinking that way. It's not. It's a natural human inclination to take the path of least resistance. It really is. It's just normal. And we have to be disciplined to work against that natural inclination, or you're never going to have that success. So if you want 2022 to be your big breakout year, you want to make whatever that is, you want to hit your goal of 10,000 a month, 25, 50, you want to be at 200K months, which is my goal. Whatever it is, you want to do that, then I need you to set yourself up right now for that to happen. Otherwise, we walk into 2022 and you're going to waste 2 or 3 months trying to get a plan together. Or you're going to start doing shit from your ass instead of doing it strategically. And now we're going to go round and round and up again, because then when we come to, right, the whole December 31st, where you're setting your intentions or your manifestations you're calling in, now you get a different kind of a high. This isn't dopamine. This is actually oxytocin, right? This is, God, if they could bottle that shit, damn. It would be the most addictive drug on the planet. Oxytocin it's what happens when you're in like a freshy relationship. Even those of you who've been married like a gazillion years, you go back to when you were dating, right? And it was all new and exciting and all that stuff where you're not thinking clearly and you don't see any red flags, or the ones you do, you make up stories about. You're like, oh, that's okay. That's okay that he ghosts me multiple times a week. That's okay that he doesn't ask me for plans until the last minute because he's so great in all these other areas and all the other crap we make up. Oxytocin's really powerful. So you get that oxytocin high. You might even make a vision board, all of that crap. You might even buy courses, programs, stuff like that. You might even be someone when it comes to like your health, your body. You might buy like a Peloton. You might make promises to yourself of like a certain gym membership you're going to enroll in January. And then you save these workouts and all these recipes for that time period. And you're on this high because you're fooling yourself that miraculously January 1st comes and you're just going to do all these things and you're going to stay consistent, and you don't have a plan to keep yourself accountable. And you, quite frankly, don't even have a reasonable and realistic success plan based on your life, based on your energy level, based on your personality, based on your strengths, based on your weaknesses in order to get there. It's wild. It's wild what our brains do. And then what happens is, just like when you go to see gyms, right? The gyms are so annoying. In that first 2-3 weeks of the year, they're packed and then it falls off. I mean, it's literally every single year this has gone on for decades and decades, right? It just doesn't work. And then what comes after that oxytocin high? Then you have a crash because reality's hit. Oh God, I'm doing my thing again. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm stuck. I'm confused. How am I going to do this? And all of that sets in. Let's get you off this merry-go-round. I was on it for 9 years, like I said, and I felt the pressure, the anxiety, the disappointment where another year has passed where I didn't start my dream business and I'd tell myself that lie again and round we go. Different actions are required to get different results. Wouldn't you rather get to December 31st and feel a sense of empowerment and accomplishment because you took some big actions towards your goals that you want to achieve in the new year? This is an incredibly powerful way to enter 2022 in the abundance zone by being in the energy of taking action that aligns with your desires. Otherwise, you're entering the new year with that old toe-dipping procrastination energy. Do you really think that the universe is going to match toe-dipping energy? It's going to match it with toe-dipping results. Or do you want the universe to match the energy of you showing up regardless, of you taking the scary action, of you doing big things, and then you're going to be met with big results? All right? That's what I want to see you guys do. I'm not saying you have to sit there and work 12 hours a day. In fact, I want you to stop doing that. There's two things you need to commit to doing if you want what you say you want. And if you don't want it that bad, that's also okay. But I don't want you sitting here pining and desiring these baller results if you're not willing to take baller moves, because it just doesn't work like that. And you're certainly, the law of attraction, you certainly aren't going to attract that. That would be called entitlement. That'd be like saying, I expect to have an amazing, committed, fulfilling, emotionally incredible, passionate love relationship in my life. But I'm going to put 15% effort into it. But damn, I want all the results. I want all these things. That does not make sense. That's illogical. That's entitled. That's wild. We've got to stop this stuff. So the two things I want you to do, here are the two actions, because I can hear some of you through the interwebs, through your AirPods, hopefully not the Pros, because those do not stay in your ears. I'm not a fan of the AirPod Pros. The OGs are a million times better, and the battery life on both of them actually sucks. So I don't know if their new version, they have improved that. Please DM me and let me know if you have a new version of the AirPods and if they've improved the battery life, because I got the Pros last year for Christmas and they suck. And they're expensive as hell. It's like, basically, they'd want you to lose one of those. And I've lost one down the damn crack of my car seat. And now that's a situation. Trying to get that's a problem. Okay. So the two things I want you to do. One is I want you to take an action to set yourself up for accountability, not just for 2022, but for the rest of this year. So what is something you can do? And I use money for this. I've got to put money on the line. I've got to hire people, whether it's people who work for me, whether it's a coach, whether it's a program. I'd use all the above. I put enough money on the line where it would be absolutely insane for me to not show up. In fact, it would be like I'm crazy wasting money to not show up. So I do that. That's highly suggested, right? So what can you do where it'd be crazy? If I use an example of a gym, joining a gym that's $19 a month, you really don't care if you show up. You know what I'm saying? Joining a low ticket membership community that's $7 a month, or something like that, where there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people or thousands of people, where you're easily, no one notices if you're there or not. Probably you'll show up a little bit and then stop showing up. Buying a self-paced course. If you get a wild hair up your ass, you might binge it and actually do it over a weekend, or it's just going to sit there and maybe you've done one module. You know yourself. Everyone's different in terms of accountability. So you've got to be honest with yourself. What is going to cost you the most if you don't show up? What feels most costly to you? For some people, my private clients will say to me, it's not even the money, Tiffany, I spend on you. Like, yes, that gets me to show up, but it's the respect I have for you and the level of accountability you hold me to. I'm not going to promise I'm going to follow through with my homework, or I'm not going to show up when I know you're watching me, because now I'm wasting your time. It'd be embarrassing for me. So some people, that works for them, right? Where they don't want to let someone down. They don't want to disrespect someone. So that could work. What is going to make you accountable? And don't say, oh, I'm going to, do it with this friend. I don't like the friend thing. You have to have a very unusual friendship for that to work. And I have one. I'm blessed to have one with Tracy. And if we ask to hold each other accountable, we do, but this is very abnormal. We have done a lot of work, and I'm willing to deal with what happens when I push an Enneagram 8 Aries. And sometimes it's not cute. Sometimes it's not cute. And I'll do it anyway. All right. So I need you to look into that. What is that? Maybe it's putting it on, I had to put stuff on my credit card. I didn't have the money, right? So I had to put stuff on my credit card knowing I have to show up and do this thing, because if I don't, I won't be able to pay off my credit card. So I really want you to think, what's going to get you to show up and take that big action? Because big action will get you big results. The second thing I want you to do is, what is it something that you can commit to learning that is going to move the needle in your business and your bank account? What is it you can commit to learning? So is it that you do need to learn how to create profitable content and get a lot better at that? Well, then you need to sign up for my damn masterclass. Is it that sales is your issue and you get on sales calls and you're uncomfortable, or you feel really awkward marketing your stuff? Then you need to get help with that. What is the thing that makes you feel the most awkward or uncomfortable? Just pick one thing, not 10 things, and set yourself up for failure. Pick one thing and then commit to learning it. Buy the course, join the membership group, right? So my big Black Friday sale's coming up for the ProjectME Posse group coaching membership, and I am offering something I've never offered before, plus major mega bonuses. But the only way to get first dibs at it is you also have to be registered for the masterclass. And there's a maximum of 300 spots for the masterclass, because it's going to be live on Zoom this Sunday, November 21st at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So want to make sure you know that. And don't think it's going to be a freaking sales fest. I don't waste your time with that crap. I focus on teaching you first and foremost so that you get the results, real tangible stuff, no fluff, no circle talk. I know you know that, or you wouldn't be listening to the show. And then, yes, I will share with you the offer at the end, because it would be stupid not to. And it's also what I teach you guys to do. So you know the two things you need to do. Hold yourself accountable right now by taking a screenshot, sharing this in your Instagram, Facebook stories, and tagging me at ProjectME with Tiffany. That way I know you listened to the episode. That's one way to hold yourself accountable, right? Let me know you listened, because then I will DM you, guaranteed, and ask you, okay, so what are your two things? And I'll help you through it. Seriously. And you're like, there's no way this bitch is going to DM me. Well, try me. And it might take me a couple days if I get 300-400 DMs from you guys, right? But at least do that for yourself. Go sign up for the masterclass, projectmewithtiffany.com/masterclass. You can swipe up. The link's in the show notes. It's also in my bio on Instagram at projectmewithtiffany. Excited to see you guys this Sunday, mostly so you guys can see my very creative costume that I'll be wearing. Mostly for that. All right. Wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.